Atul, please tell me about yourself.
Yeah, so I'm working in Silicon for the Morgan Stanley
You
client,
just
and it is
you just little bit down your voice because of it is coming more complex.
is it audible clear? I mean, how is my voice? Do
A little bit
do I
more.
need to say? Is it not audible? Is it audible now?
Audible, but coming as the same. You can go on the laptop. Just you little bit you minimize your voice, little bit.
Minimize. You want me to?
Because of your voice is very complex. It's coming. That's why I'm telling you.
Okay, just a minute.
Yeah, yeah. Please tell me. Just
Yeah, is it okay?
okay, okay, okay. So please tell me about yourself.
Yeah, so I am a Java developer working as a backend uh, services,
Mm-hmm.
and my client is Morgan Stanley.
Mm-hmm.
So my day-to-day work is like uh, client interaction, then mentoring the team members,
Mm-hmm.
and uh, working on the Jiras, whichever the client handles, and mm,
So
that is.
you means you want to tell you working on agile methodology, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So how much experience you have now?
12 years.
12, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So do you have worked on Spring Boot, microservices, and
Uh, yeah, Spring
Java?
Boot I have worked, microservices I have the knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
but I haven't got much exposure as the application on which I'm working is still on monolith architecture.
Okay, okay. So you currently working on monolith architecture, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. So I'm just let's start with the core Java. So you know the Java 8, right?
Yeah.
So what are newly features added in Java 8?
Okay. The Java 8, the main feature why Java 8 is being preferred or yeah, has so much recognition is because of the Lambda expression
Mm-hmm.
and the functional interface.
Mm-hmm.
And since these two features are added in Java, there is a feature called stream which get help from this function interface and Lambda expression. I mean, they are mostly using streams. So the
Mm-hmm.
stream is the core of Java 8, I would say. Then there are optional, and mostly I would say streams is the feature
Mm-hmm.
in Java 8.
Okay. So are there any features?
Optional is one of the features. Then there is a modification or enhancement in time API in Java,
Okay.
uh, and apart from that, um, mostly this only.
Okay. So you know about uh, optional class in Java 8. What are
Yeah.
the main role of this?
Okay. So let's say there is a stream of data coming from the source,
Mm-hmm.
and there is a possibility that sometimes the stream is empty.
Mm-hmm.
So in that case, to handle that situation, or to handle null pointer, specifically null pointer, to
Mm-hmm.
handle that situation, optional has come into picture.
Mm-hmm. So when will you use method reference?
Method reference we can use. Uh, I mean, it is again lambda only, but it just is slight modification or shortening the code. So
Mm-hmm.
method reference is nothing but calling the method directly by using the name of the class.
Mm-hmm.
It is
Uh,
like static,
Okay.
as we call static methods. It
Mm-hmm.
is almost similar, but not static methods. It is more of a method calling through with the name of the class.
So I came into the Java 8, Java in core Java concept. Suppose we have one question. Suppose you want to make it a class as a final. So what measurement you will follow?
So you want me to make the class as final, right?
Yeah, immutable class.
Okay. So to get a immutable class, first I need to make the class as final.
Mm-hmm.
Final keyword I need to use in front of the class name,
Mm-hmm.
before the class name. Then with that only, by using only final, I won't be having a immutable class. Then I need to make the constructor as private as well, so that
Mm-hmm.
if someone is calling it's from some other class, they won't be able to use new keyword over the final class
Mm-hmm.
and create a object of that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when when I'm saying that it is a final, I'm not able to create the object, and I'm not able to access the class as well. Then
Mm-hmm.
what is the use of that class?
Mm-hmm.
So for that, because at the end I need an object to work or to set up the behavior.
Mm-hmm.
So I will create a static method, get whatever get method, some static get method, and that static get method will help me out. In that I will define a object or create a instance of that final object, and with that only it is more of like a singleton class. So with this class only I will be, and with the same instance I will be accessing the class,
No,
and I won't be able to.
singleton have different way, but final immutable class have different way. So
Yeah, I mean they are different, but
just
more or less it is I mean behavior and the intent is different, but the process is more or less similar.
process are similar. So what you mean say means singleton class and final class treated as a similar, right?
No, not final and singleton. Basically, in singleton, we make sure that a single instance is used
Mm-hmm.
for multiple calls.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, no new instance are created whenever I call the static method. But when I
Mm-hmm.
am saying final, when I'm using the final keyword, you will be able to create whenever you make a modification to the data using that class,
Mm-hmm.
a new instance will be created. Like in string, if I am doing any kind of method call, like if I'm doing append or slicing the string, in that case, each time on different method, a new instance will be created. So it is different from what I'm saying, but using the term singleton is just to say that we are using the same static method, single static method. Basically, I'm saying static methods.
So I think in final class no have mandatory cases for writing a static method. You can write as instance method as well.
But it is a cleaner way, I would say. Yeah, there are ways we can.
Only you can avoid which method will impact to the property of immutable class. Suppose just you want to
Yeah.
write as a setter or something that it could be
Yes.
impacted. Hmm?
Exactly. Yes.
So so primitive data type is a immutable class or not?
Which class?
Primitive data type.
Primitive data type.
Primitive data type,
Uh,
you know that have class, wrapper class, integer, double, and long. So all these are the primitive, right?
yes.
Wrapper classes.
Wrapper classes. They are object of primitive.
So all these wrapper classes are immutable or
No, they are
immutable?
not immutable. String is immutable. Wrapper
String is
classes are not
immutable.
immutable. Yeah.
You can see after this interview, you will get the answer about that.
Okay.
Okay.
I will check. I will correct if something I need to.
Yes, yes.
I will.
Yes,
Thanks.
you will check, you get the answer because if I will tell you, so you tell like something.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Thanks. Thanks for letting me.
huh. So, suppose we have, you know, the costing concept, lower costing, higher
Casting.
costing. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. I,
So,
usually it is
what
lower
is lower
casting.
costing? What is higher costing in Java?
Okay. Usually, there are lower casting only. Rarely we do higher casting. Like if I have a class, uh, parent class and child class. So if I'm using a casting parent in front of the instance of child class or child method, then it will that will be a higher class casting, super casting we say. And when I am using a casting in front of a parent with a child in the bracket and then parent instance, then that is a lower casting. Basically we are moving
No, I
from.
think you telling about that. These cases will occur whenever you take as a object. You want to create a object is equal to new object. That object you want to cause with particular class, like that parent class or child class.
Mhm.
So that would be, I think, otherwise you can take the instance of, that is the different thing. I am just asking the perspective of primitive data type.
Okay, so uh, we let's say I just very I have simplified too lot,
Mm-hmm.
but the main reason for casting is uh, mostly as told you, mostly we do lower casting. We do higher casting as well, but mostly we do lower casting. Let's say I just use parent and child, but the parent can have multiple child, right? So
No,
then
Atul, that leave it. I am just asking simple question. I am just not going
okay,
to the class and other thing.
okay.
Suppose you have a long data you want to convert into the int data. So that would be a lower costing.
Mhm.
If you
Mhm.
want to type integer type data you want to convert into the long type, that would be higher costing. Simple
Yes,
logic.
exactly. Yes.
But you going to some class and other area, that is different thing. That is the
I mean,
logical thing. I'm not asking the logical thing. I'm asking the just basic questions.
yeah, I mean, I haven't used integer, but when I say class, the integer is
That
also a
that's
class.
why that's why I mention you primitive
Okay.
data type. Primitive data
Oh,
type is
okay.
that. That's why I told you.
Oh, okay.
What is lower casting and higher casting in primitive data type. That
Oh,
question
okay.
was simple and clear with you.
Yeah.
Uh, you know the file handling.
Yes.
So in file handling, you know the marker interface.
Yes.
So marker interface, what is definition of marker interface?
Basically, marker interface, it doesn't have any method. Like
Mm-hmm.
whenever I say interface, it usually have abstract methods,
Mm-hmm.
and we define specific methods using that abstract method declared in the interface. But since there is no interface in there is no method in the marker interface,
Mm-hmm.
what is the purpose of that interface? The question arises. So that interface is that declaration or that use of interface is specifically to instruct the compiler that we are using this marker interface and you need to treat all the classes implementing this marker interface in specific way or uh, specific way is special privileges I would say.
Mm-hmm.
uh, so that is the purpose of that marker interface. or definition, I would say. That instruction
So,
basically for not for the end developer but for the compiler.
mhm. So you know about transient and volatile.
Yes, I know.
Can you give the example about the transient and volatile?
Okay. Whenever I say transient, basically transient is used during serialization.
Mhm.
So whenever I use transient keyword in front of a instance variable, means that we are instructing the compiler to ignore uh, that particular instance variable and retain all the data other than that transient uh, variable, instance variable.
Mm-hmm.
And volatile is used basically when I say volatile, that data is saved, that data in the sense that instance variable is saved in the RAM, and uh, that is available like this volatile specifically is used in during thread concept or while having multiple threads. So whenever I am doing update in one thread, other thread will be notified or can use, or whenever it is using the same instance variable, updated value will that other thread will have.
Mm-hmm. So, final. So in this, suppose we want to write a file handling code. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
So in file handling, input stream, input data stream, output data stream. You know about that
Mhm.
classes.
Yeah, yeah.
So these classes, how to read and write the data.
Okay. So first we need to write the data.
Hmm.
Okay. So for that I will use um, output string, and using that output first I will first I will create the file by using the file class, then I will buffer it using output buffer string
Hmm.
so that the data is available
Hmm.
whenever I am initiating the process
Hmm.
thing. Then that output buffer stream I will put that object in um, output stream,
Hmm.
and that output stream has a method called write. With that write method, I will write whatever data I want to in the file. Now,
One more question as I asked to you regarding the core Java. Um, Suppose you have uh, question just like uh, abstract class. Okay,
which class? Can you please pardon?
abstract class. Just to write a simple abstract class. Abstract class just like is a class abstract class public abstract class. Okay, and inside this class I don't want to write a abstract method. I write
Mhm.
completely concrete method, implemented method. Okay.
Mhm, mhm,
So in
mhm.
that scenario, that class will work, compile and run.
Yes,
Compile.
yes, it will compile.
Okay.
Whether you
So
have abstract method or not, it will compile.
compile. Okay. So constructor can be defined in the
Yes,
abstract class,
yes, we can define constructor,
but cannot be
but
initiated.
object, but we can't create the object of abstract class.
Okay. Okay. So, you know, how do you correlate? Suppose uh, you know the interface, multiple inheritance, multi-level inheritance. So, why uh, Java not supporting to multiple inheritance?
Mhm. Why you want me to let you know the reason why we don't have multiple inheritors?
Yes, in Java, you know the Java classes
Yeah,
cannot
yes.
support
I
multiple
will.
inheritance. Yeah.
I would like to say that uh, we have multiple inheritance in
Mm-hmm.
Java,
Mm-hmm.
but we are using interface.
Mm-hmm.
Technically, it is not multiple inheritance, but when we can use multiple interface to
Mm-hmm.
implement multiple inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason we are not using multiple classes, whenever we use extend, we extend to only single class. We are not extending to multiple classes.
Mm-hmm.
So there we restrict to multiple inheritance. The reason is like we need to go back to C++. There we have multiple inheritance.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, the issue is we have a diamond issue. Diamond issue is like, let's say we have a parent class, it has certain child, and that child has another level of child.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I'm making any change, I mean, whenever I'm calling from the second level of child, instantiating the second level child and using some method or behavior of parent class,
Mm-hmm.
then will that method will be called from child 1 or child 2? There will be an ambiguity. To avoid that ambiguity, Java has removed that multiple inheritance. It is mostly described by diamond structure.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Just now moving, I will ask two, three questions inside the collection framework. Thereafter, we'll go
Mhm.
inside the
Mhm.
listing framework. Hmm.
Sure.
So, hash map and hash table.
Yes.
So, what is difference in hash table and hash map?
The major difference,
Mm-hmm.
or I would say the only difference, I may be wrong, but the major difference is synchronization. So
Mm-hmm.
in hash table, synchronization is used, and in hash map, synchronization is not used. But hash map is
Oh.
not thread safe,
Mm-hmm.
and hash table is thread safe.
Mm. So, suppose I want to synchronize hash map. So, how
Mhm.
do you synchronize?
So I will call synchronize map method or the instance of hash
You
map.
you give the full concept. How
Okay.
to write? Suppose you want to synchronize hash map. So what mechanism? You told me the synchronized map. So synchronized map directly you can call this method or have any class or interface through call.
We can, uh, I haven't used, but I remember like we can call directly synchronize method uh,
No dear.
on the hash map instance.
Collections
Or we,
collections
or
dot synchronized map. Collections dot synchronized map.
yeah, exactly, I don't remember
But
the syntax.
you can remember because of this is the smallest thing. Suppose
Yeah, it is.
you have map method. Okay, you are something you returning into the map, right? I'm
Yes,
just telling you.
yes.
So that method have a common method. You want to call in some multi-threading concept. You call in some other areas. So how to distinct? Because of if you are going inside the multi-threading concept, just you write collection.sort and call this object inside this. Then you will get the it will not impact it to other area because of it that object will lock at one time in multi-threading. And you without multi-threading you want to call the same method which is written as a hash map object. So you can call in normal behavior. So two way you can handle it. That's why Java is providing lot of things. According developer what need to be do, what concept they want to follow up, so accordingly they can utilize it. This is the simple thing.
Yeah. Uh, mm, might be. What I remember, maybe I am wrong. I mean, as you mentioned, I am wrong actually. I thought that by creating a hash map object. On that hash map, we can
No,
call
no,
synchronize map.
just I will give the example. Suppose you have any return type method hash map. Okay. Suppose
Mhm.
you have public map. Inside you have
Mhm.
costing of some kind of object, string, integer, or you
Mhm.
have custom class,
Mhm.
whatever you have.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah.
You want to get the list of data from the database. Okay.
Mhm. Yes.
Got it? So
Yes.
you connected with the database and you want to put into the hash map by using the pair concept. Okay?
Mhm. Mhm.
And thereafter that method is a common method.
Mhm. Mhm.
And some logic, some requirement have just we need to you need to this table data you just put in multi-threading concept and validate. If something have, then it will update. So what do you do that?
Mhm.
Just you take this method as a
Mhm.
synchronize call into the multi-threading block. Multi-threading block.
Yeah.
So it will not impacted you to other
Mhm.
logic. And same method you want to call in some Spring framework or somewhere, you can call commonly call.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
one thing you can utilize to multi-way. So that way you have need to the internal concept of the Java. That's why I am
Mhm.
speaking
Mhm.
to you.
Yeah.
Tree set. Tree set is a sorted set or it is a normal set.
It is sorted.
Sorted. So suppose I am just giving you one scenario. Tree set TS is equal to new tree set. Okay.
TS equal to new tree set.
New
Okay.
tree set.
Ah, okay.
TS dot add null, NUL, simple null, not have
Mhm.
a string, not have
Mhm.
null
Mhm.
object only, okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
And TS dot add ABC as a string.
Mhm.
You got point?
Yeah, I got.
System out dot println TS. So what output you will get?
You should be returning null and ABC, but
How?
since because uh, inside set is created from hash map only,
Mm-hmm.
and hash map we are not considering complete hash map, we are only considering the keys of hash map,
Mm-hmm.
and keys can accept one null key.
Mm-hmm.
So you have added a key, null key that is accepted, and it should return null. But
No,
it may throw
that would be written by the hash set, not written by the tree set. That's why beginning of I have asked you the
tree
question
set.
tree set is sorted
Mhm.
set or not. So you told me this is the sorted. So it is possible to sorting discarded object and real object.
Can you please pardon your question?
No,
What is the
my
difference between?
my question is that it is possible to sorting discarded object as a null and real object is ABC. Is it
Yeah,
possible?
yeah. No, it is not possible. It is not.
So how will return null and
Mm.
ABC?
Mm. Yeah. I thought the behavior will be same, like hash set. The behavior will be same, but the data which it will return will be sorted. So that's
No, null how will sorted?
no, yeah, it won't sort because null doesn't have any value or it is undefined. Yeah, with that concept, it is right. It's really similar.
No, this is your incorrect answer because of null cannot be sorted. In that time, the hash set will identify as a discarded object. So discarded object, if have, so it will return as a null pointer system.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean to. I was saying the same that it will return null and ABC, but it will
No, no,
throw
no.
null.
You
So
telling it will return null and ABC. Null
Yeah.
return means it is a print a null and abc, but null
No,
will print,
yeah.
it will not print.
No, it won't print. I mean, I was about to say that it will throw the null pointer exception, but it will store null value. That I was saying that it will store null value and
Yes, it will store, but
yeah.
because of this is the sorted set, before printing it will sort to real, and because of why, suppose you have put a b a d c, so
Hmm.
in the sorted set, so sorted set will
Yeah.
what will print a b c d. So
Yes.
because of it
Yes.
will compare each variable. So null is not possible to compare. If it is going to comparing with the ABC, that time it will return the null pointer. Sir. Simple thing.
Hmm. Hmm.
Simple thing. Nothing
Yeah.
will take out. It will start the execution. Then it will start the comparison. At the same time, it will start the comparison.
Okay. Okay.
So
Hmm.
not
I
will,
got your point.
yeah.
It will
So
instantly throw null pointer exception. You mean
yeah, you make
it won't
you
wait.
after this interview, you make the program, you get the answer. You will also
Yes.
satisfied.
Yeah.
So because of I am just asking simple question before telling you this is sorted set. That's why I given this scenario.
Yeah.
But you not have understand my hint. That's why, because
Hmm.
of suppose I will tell you, uh, the list and uh, linked list, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So suppose I give you one scenario. I want to fetch data from the database by using anyone. So which one is suitable for fetching data? Array list or linked list?
Array list.
Array list. And why are not linked list?
Array list is uh, faster than linked list.
Mm.
Faster because all the data is stored consecutively,
Mm.
and in linked list they are stored randomly at random location. I mean, so that's the reason array list will be preferred unless there is a need of multiple manipulation of the data.
Mm-hmm. Okay, just now moving in other areas of. So you aware about Spring Boot and Spring Framework, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think about at the rate Spring Boot application?
You see, that annotation is basically used to inform the compiler or the container, Spring container or Spring framework that this is the class, this is the main class from where the instance or the initialization or where the request will land,
Mm-hmm.
client request will land or
Mm-hmm.
can accept.
So this is role only. Any other role?
Mostly this only.
I think Katul, I think you are have a much experience older candidate. So the Spring Boot application annotation is the backbone of Spring Boot. What it will do, that it will provide inside this app scan component configuration, enable auto configurations. Okay, so
But
if that interface, whenever it is going to execute, it will call all these three methods for setting the all containers. For example, configuration by default, it will, suppose you are doing through the XML based configuration, it will avoid it. It will call through the property or property dot application or
but
yml.xml. So all configuration will set up by this using this annotation, and before going to this, it will first it will call to scan component. Scan component means that would whatever you
Yes.
have
So,
written.
I like to interrupt here.
uh,
Uh, yeah, I agree. Because of that, only Spring Boot came into picture. I mean, why from Spring Framework to Spring Boot we came that there is most of the things are handled by the Spring Framework. I mean, we
no,
can
so
as a developer, but
you
in,
understand my point. Why I
yeah,
ask you? Why I ask you? What is the at the right Spring Boot application? So this is the main
but
role. That's why I am telling you what is the role of this.
But even if that is there, we still use at the rate configuration, at the rate enable. We use this configuration. I
Hmm.
mean, it definitely give instruction, and Spring Boot is
So,
much
okay, no
more
problem.
intelligent.
No problem. I will ask you a question entire this. What is use of enable auto configuration? How it will work?
Okay, you just now mentioned auto scan. So auto scan is basically used to scan all the bins.
No, Atul. I am just asking about only the enable auto configuration. You leave it scan component.
Okay, auto configuration.
Hmm.
Uh, I know about this. Uh, it is again, yes, it is basically used to identify all the uh, uh, beans added, like we use at the rate bean inside the class.
Hmm.
So that to access or to enable or to configure those beans, we use auto configuration to
Okay, you read out, you will get the answer exactly. Auto enable means whatever container have not created as a instance of the particular bean. So auto enable will do automatically it will initialize to the particular class as a bean means instance. That is role of this enable auto configuration.
hmm.
This is the
Okay.
simple thing about that. Configuration is different thing. Configuration means this annotation will do the different way and enable auto configuration will do the different way. Scan component have a different role. So all these three role club into the Spring Boot application annotation. So
Mhm.
that is the
Yeah.
backbone of that.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Yes.
next question I will ask you, what is the use of at the right profile annotation?
Okay. So at the rate profile is basically used to uh, uh, distinguish, like we have multiple environment,
Hmm.
uh, DIT environment, SIT environment.
Hmm.
So and they have different configurations or properties. So
Hmm.
when I am using at the rate profile, it basically instructs the service that you need to uh, read out the properties for this environment or that specific environment.
So, what is difference between get and post method?
Okay. So get method, it is like only read out method. We are not manipulating the data. We are just reading out the data. Uh,
But I think you have written the lot of API. I believe that, right?
mhm.
So
Yeah.
manipulating is a not single word means cannot update and
So,
insert and delete. But
yes, yes.
you can perform the delete operation as well. You can perform update operation as well by using get method. I think you have written the API. Might be if you have writing code inside the REST API.
Yeah,
So, but
based on the behavior.
how do you say cannot manipulate?
Yeah. So when I'm using when a client as a client, if I'm sending some instruction,
Hmm.
uh, so that instruction, based on the instruction, the action will be performed in the service. That will be on the server side. But when I am using, we have a specific delete method as well. So this get post is basically used to uh, uh, restrict or give uh, advantage
If
to
I will
manipulate the data.
I will tell you, so you have lot of differences. Get method can return only 200 response, but post method can return 200, 202. You know, create resources, update resources. And third thing, get method cannot be manipulate large amount of data. This will take the huge time. Because of this limitation have only 1024 byte data size. So that's why we are using to this only for the retrieving case. This is the simple thing about. Suppose you have put a particular ID in as a path
URL.
variable or as a request param. So
Hmm.
just that ID you pass into the method, you retrieve the data, chunk data. So
Yeah.
that is the good idea about if I am calling to this get method. This is the good
Hmm.
way. But we have chunk data. Chunk data means you want to 100 record you want to insert by using any JSON a packet or XML packet, whatever you want to use based on your choice, based on your requirement. So in that scenario, it will take because of this have much competitive to the post, it is not suitable. Suitable
Hmm.
because of this have limitation of get method, but post no have limitation. You
Yeah.
any chunk data you want to post, it will do that in the backend, delete, update,
Yeah.
post, whatever you do. So this is the main difference, and nothing else difference. You can perform the delete, insert, update through the get also. You can perform insert, delete, and update through the post. The, but only have difference is that because of
Data quantity,
yeah
size of data.
size because of every time get method you seen somewhere get method has some security point of view, it will not good. You have some just like I will tell you, suppose you have some confidential data. If you are
Hmm.
using get method, so you simply you can display
Of course.
in the
URL.
Chrome browser,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Yeah.
post cannot be display in the browser because it will give the some method type error. This
Yeah.
method will
Yeah.
not allow. So these are the
Hmm.
differences. Just same thing you tell about that. This is the differences. Nothing much. If you telling this is not, you suppose you can also what I am thinking, you can also think about that same thing. It is
Yeah.
security or not. So that's why I am asking. You think this is very simple question, but it is not a simple question. If you go
Yeah. Yeah.
entire the deep, you will get the exact
Yeah.
whatever is happening inside the gate, whatever is happening inside the post.
Yeah.
So get what do you think about the put method? Put method is idempotent,
No, it is not idempotent.
not idempotent, right?
Yeah.
Why?
Because when I am using put method,
Hmm.
I am changing the data,
Hmm.
and whenever I will call it back, I won't get the same data. That's the reason it is not
So it
idempotent.
means it will support to get and post. Both cases can be
No,
handled through the put
only
method.
get. Only get is uh, only get is idempotent, I believe.
Hmm.
Get, yes.
Hmm.
Other than that, other methods are not idempotent. Post, delete, put, all are non-idempotent.
So suppose what do you think about controller and rest controller? What is the main difference?
It is almost same. The In fact, we are separately using REST and controller separately, but now we are combined it. So it is basically to say the framework that a REST request, it will accept a REST request, and it will act as a controller. Uh, this class will act as a controller.
Hmm.
We are using a single keyword to let the framework know that this will act as a REST controller, REST service, accept REST service, and work as a controller.
Okay. So you know JPA.
Yeah,
So
it is a
JPA,
Java standard.
yeah. So why we are using JPA? What is the main advantage of JPA? Because I have lot of other mechanism, JDBC templates or
Mhm.
JDBC. So why we are using JPA?
Yeah. So JPA, we say JPA standard. It is the standard defined by the team, and there are multiple ORM platform as well, like Hibernate, and even there is one more platform which was there before Hibernate. So with this standard, we have a set of defined behavior, and they will be same irrespective of the tools, ORM tools, irrespective of the ORM tools. They might have
Okay.
more behavior, but JPA, when I'm using JPA standard, and later point, let's say I'm using one ORM tool now, and later point of time I've thought that this ORM is not sufficing my requirement, and want to move to some other tool. So I need not to make multiple changes if I'm using JPA defined behavior or JPA standard. There will be less work when I'm migrating from one ORM tool to another ORM tool.
Okay. So other question, I will ask you the last question to you. Suppose you have a table employee. Okay. So in employee table, we have 10 records, ID, name and salary.
Hmm.
I want to find out the second highest salary. So what logic you write inside the query?
Hmm. There are multiple ways to do this. One of the very live or less uh, uh, less efficient is by using uh, inner query.
Hmm.
Like I have a outer query and inner query. Inner query will return me the highest value
Hmm.
or highest salary, and in the outer query I will get the highest salary which is not from the inner query. So that way, that is one of the way. There is another way. I guess these keywords are mostly used in Oracle, where we use offset and limit
Hmm.
keywords.
Hmm.
Using that offset, we say that you need to get the highest value from ignoring the other value,
Hmm.
and limit, we can limit till what row you need to read the table.
Okay. Okay, Atul. So I have completed now. So let's see.
Yeah.
HR will contact you.
Sure, sure.
Okay.